So, as we light our Christ candle today, we call in that Christ consciousness, the representation of the light that shines within all of us. It comes from the higher good that we all are. If I can get that little wick to light. Yeah, I did it. And then as we light the yellow candle for this month, it's the ability to evaluate and discern, apply what you know. I am guided by divine wisdom in every thought, word, and action. James, son of Zebedee, and the color is yellow for the month. Welcome, everybody. What a day yesterday. What a day we had, but I won't get into that. We'll go ahead and go into, we'll just wait on that, and we can talk about that later. Well, actually, we're into announcements, so I guess let's go ahead and talk about acknowledgments, and I'd like to just say thank you to all of you that are here that were a part of yesterday and every day. But what a amazing day we had. This place was full. This whole area was an auction area. We raised $1,066 for our education fund. Amazing. Yeah, so give yourselves a big hand. Thank you all. That really just, we had music. It held out. It was absolutely a beautiful day, just like we envisioned it would be. Just a perfect day. Not too much sunshine, not too many clouds, so the sun didn't burn anybody's faces or heads. And the weather was just perfect. The Michael James Band was just phenomenal out there. Steve Michaels. I don't that backwards. Thank you. But Mary put all that together for us, and we had all these crock pots of food out there. There were like 10 of them. And it was so much food, I couldn't even eat it all. The dogs helped me. Thank you, guys. On my plate, so I'm feeding them in the spoon, and it was really just a fabulous afternoon. So our numbers are a little lighter today because I think everybody's in bed, still recuperating. I can look on your face and see that you're looking a little tired still. Well, and a couple of days beforehand and weeks beforehand, just to put it together, it was a lot of energy. So really, just a fabulous time. Thank you all again, and let me explain why. When Louise and some of the others came up with the idea to do that fundraiser, we tithe, and I'm here as a student, and I'm still going to school. So it was just such a nice gesture to put on a fundraiser so that extra money can go toward education, and the things that we want to use that come in through tithing and talents and our treasures and our time can go back into unity here as we grow it, as we build gardens, as we do things that will support our community and show others how to do them. So it was really just such a beautiful gesture. Honestly, I've never had anything done like that for on that kind of scale. So it was really amazing and beautiful, and I'd like to say thank you for that. Yes, ma'am. Mary Ellen, oh goodness. Yeah. Yeah. She's amazing. Would anybody else like to call out anybody and say thank you for just any ideas that come? Oh, Greg again. Just amazing. Yeah. Yeah. It was. Thank you so much, everyone. Just truly beautiful. Let's close our eyes now and go into a little space of meditation and a space of gratitude. And Father, we say thank you. Father, Mother Earth, universe, all the energy that's flowing in and through this space, we hold that space of love, of cooperation, of community, and of divinity. And as we go out today into this beautiful, again, sunshine-filled day and enjoy the rest of our weekend as we go into the next day of our lives and into the next week, we take with us the agreements that we'll be talking about today in the 4 agreements. We take with us compassionate communication and learning to speak in a new way that serves everyone, that poisons no one, and that loves all, in everything we say and we do, in our impeccable words and our thoughts. and we give joy and gratitude and say, so it is and amen. John is going to read our daily word for us today. Thank you, John.
All right. Okay, today the daily word is on comfort, Sunday, March 26, 2017. In the comfort of God's presence, I find true rest and peace. My greatest source of comfort comes in recognizing God's omnipotent presence. Right where I am, wherever I go, God, the source of all power, knowledge, and good, is with me. There is no place I can go where God is not. There is no experience I will ever face alone. It may be true that I'm not always aware of this presence. Any feelings of separation dissipate when I turn within and affirm, in God I live and move and have my being. I repeat these words until truth washes over me. I am filled with a feeling of warmth. Any mental disconnect fades. In the comfort of God's presence, I find true rest and peace. For, quote, in him we live and move and have our being, unquote. As even some of your own people or poets have said, quote, for we too are his offspring, unquote, from the book of Acts 17:28.
Now, our statement of truth. There is, with me, there's only one presence, one power, active in the universe and in my life, God the good, the omnipotent. And I would like to, as we go into this next part, starting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday this week, we're doing Community of Blairsville and basically coming together of unity consciousness. And we are doing a potluck every night this week on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 6 o'clock. It's probably going to run us to about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, but we're doing an intensive program that we've been leading up to this point. And Daniel Lambert is coming in from Chattanooga, from Community of Chief, from the Tiny Home Project, the Tiny Home Initiative, and the Free Garden Community. And what we're doing is we are taking our concepts and our ideas of what community is, and we're building a mind map of where we want to see that go. And that is each of your own visions. Those are each of your own ideas and thoughts about what you see in the one mind of community, what that looks like for your special gifts. So it's going to be a really incredible week. And whether we have 5 people or 15 people or 20, what matters is those people that are coming here are helping us develop what we're getting ready to create in the community of Blairsville. And that is not just this unity. That means, are we going to be looking at the areas around us for people to live in, to work in, to be able to have a walking community where you can get spiritual finding and a place to come. We're also looking at, we have Chi House, which is a retreat center now. People are looking at opening up spaces where people could come and live and farm if they wanted to live that way. So we're just opening up the doors of whatever your own possibilities are, what you might like to see as we develop community. So to do that, day 1 will be what is community, and these are the things we're going to delve into. So the first night is what is community, what defines us as a body of individuals at Unity of Blairsville. The second night will be, are we there yet? Before we can get there, we must know where here is in relation to there. So that'll be our second night. And this is going to become more intense each night. Intense in a very positive, beautiful way, like motivational way. Day 3, do we even want to go there? Is the trip worth taking? Because in that trip, we have a lot of learning to do. We have a lot of growth, and it's really a beautiful process. Day 4, the journey from here to there, follow the yellow brick road, how values-based consent can catalyze community in the Unity of Blairsville. So those are the steps that we'll take to get there. And then
relax your senses. Feel every part. You ain't got a thing to fear. Looks like love is growing here. So take your guard and let it down. Go deeper still until you come unwound. Unbound. Breathe every breath. Release your cringe. Love without waiting. Without waiting. Slowly unhinge. You ain't got a thing to fear. Looks like love is growing here. So take your guard and let it down. Go deeper still until you come unwound. Unbound. You can stop waiting for love to find you. Look inside your heart. Love's already who you are. Already who you are. So lift up your voice. Lift it up now, now. Let it be heard. Let it be heard. And tell me your story. Tell it to me. And don't leave out a word. Not a word, no. 'Cause I think I have been there too. I'm a seeker just like you. And you ain't got a thing to fear. Looks like love is growing here. So take your guard and let it down. Go deeper still until you come unwound. Unbound. Lay it down, lay it down, lay it down, down, down. Unbound. Lay it on down, down, down. Lay it on down. Unbound. Yeah, yeah. Unbound. Oh, unbound. Open your mind. Unfold your heart.
And as we enter into a space of meditation and quietness, and we lift up our unbound soul to hear, to see, to listen, and we open that soul up. And we take a deep breath, and we feel lifted up. We feel full of joy and hope for everything that's inside of us to express itself, so that we may begin to ask the questions of ourselves and others and not assume anything, not make assumptions, but ask the questions. As we begin to enter and talking about not making assumptions, we want to find the courage to ask the questions and to express what you really want. communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. With just one agreement, you can completely transform your life as we learn not to make assumptions. And by doing this, we unbound ourselves and all of those around us to fly, to hear our needs, to voice our passions, to open our hearts, and to live the life we truly wish to live. And as we go into the silence, we be that. And as we come back into the room, bring that presence back into this space. You can stay in that lovely meditative space while being grounded and listening to the words as we come into our talk today. Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thine is done, on earth as it is in heaven. We are given this day our daily bread, and forgiven our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. We are led not into temptation, and we are delivered from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and glory, forever and ever. So today we are in week 3 of the 4 Agreements with Don Miguel Ruiz. How many of you are familiar with this book? Quite a few in the room. So, and this book is one of the founding. It's one of the founding books that we look at in Unity because it gives us these amazing principles from which to work from. And as we began with the 4 agreements, the first one we talked about the first week was to be impeccable with your word. Speak in integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. There's a lot there. And that being what Don Miguel Ruiz says is the primary first agreement. If we can get that agreement, if we can begin to understand how to speak impeccably with our word, to use the word as it was brought forth into the universe to create with. In that word, we can create white magic or we can create black magic. And if you'll remember from previous weeks, if we gossip, what are we doing? We're creating black magic right out of our own mouth. We're creating ugly things that go out into the universe and that do not support or do not love people in any way. If we create white magic, what are we doing? We're loving. We're loving. And that's what, we don't really talk about magic and unity, but I don't mind talking about it because it makes sense. So, you can talk about what am I doing that's beautiful and good and uplifting and morally fit and all of those things that within us want to express themselves. And then the second week, we talked about don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. Nothing others do is because of you. We talked about that's their own programming. That's what they grew up believing what was right or wrong. That's what they grew up and then judged you for because you didn't grow up the same way. So they might have a judgment. And we all have judgments, sadly enough. We don't want to necessarily have them, but we got them. We look at somebody, we see their hair, we see their hair color, we see, did they participate with this? Did they not participate with that? I'm doing all the work. I'm judging people, right? Judgment, judgment, judgment. Stop. Stop. That is not your problem. So when other people put upon you a judgment or you put upon others a judgment, what are you doing? You're creating some ugly stuff there. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. That's their dream. Remember, we talked about the dream, right? So this dream, we come into this dream, into this matrix where a dream is occurring. And from the time we are born, we are programmed with our dream. Your dream's different than my dream. Your program from your parents a little bit different than mine. Your parents programmed you. Generations before them programmed them. So when we walk into this matrix, we walk into this program, we get to a point in our childhood where we begin to conform to the world. We give away ourselves so that we can be accepted by the people that are judging us. And then one day we don't know who's there anymore. So one day, then after that, comes the point where we say, oh, this isn't working anymore. What I've been programmed or what I thought I believed as a young child or I'm sorry, let's get into our teenage years. And then we begin, as we get into the late teens and early 20s, we start saying, well, that just doesn't make sense. So I'm not going to believe all that programming anymore. And we start dissolving the programming. We start rethinking the programming. We start deciding for ourselves and taking back some of those things that we conformed to, which changed us, took us away from the child, from that beautiful essence of the oneness that we are individually. Then today, don't make assumptions. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. So what we find is when we make assumptions, that is what creates our drama. It creates our sadness. When we begin to make assumptions about what we think someone should or should not be doing, that makes us sad. Because then we're like, why aren't they doing that? And all of a sudden we're taking on this assumption thing like they ought to be doing that. And all we can do is put it out there and do our best. And then in that beauty, we begin to see real light starting to shine through. With just one agreement, you can completely transform your life. And that's what Don Miguel Ruiz says about every single one of these agreements. What is real? The problem with making assumptions is that we believe they are the truth. We believe that the assumptions that we're making about whatever we want to make an assumption is the absolute truth. Why do we believe it's the truth? Because it's what we're thinking. We just happen to attach to that and think it's real. And we could swear they're real. They are so real to us that they must be real to everybody else. We make the assumptions about what other people are doing or thinking. How can I crawl inside your head? How can I do that and really know what you're thinking? Well, the only way I can do that is to ask questions and loving questions. And I can crawl inside your head that way because you're willing to share with me then and open yourself to whatever it is you may be thinking or how you may be feeling. And then I can begin to creative and compassionately love you. And you can begin to compassionately love me for that exact same reasons. We take this stuff personally, don't we? If we make an assumption and someone doesn't do what we thought they did, we end up taking that personally, and that's the second agreement, right? Don't take anything personally. We don't need to. What we can do is love, not take it personally, learn just to not. It's not putting up a wall. It's just allowing it to move on through us. Then we blame them and react by sending emotional poison out to the world if we do that. If they are not, if we're taking it personally, let's put it that way. So that's really what we're working on. So sadness and drama. Who wants that in their lives? Oh, look, I didn't see any hands come up. I did not see one hand come up. All the sadness and drama you have lived in your life was rooted in making assumptions and taking things personally. It is always better to ask questions than to make an assumption because assumptions set us up for suffering. So, I'm going to go ahead and go on past that because I don't want to get stuck on the sadness and the drama of it all, but we know exactly what I'm talking about. How do we know what others think, and how do we know such things? Okay, now there's some steps that we can go about asking these kind of questions to ourselves so that we don't get stuck in that rut. Remember, ask questions. Whenever the thing comes up where I'm making an assumption about you, if I can get close to you, maybe I should just ask questions. Like, how are you doing today? You know, what's going on with you? How are you feeling about what I just said? Does that resonate with you? So we make assumptions that everyone sees life the way we do. We assume that others think the way we think, right? And some of us do. Maybe it's similar, but nobody thinks exactly like you think. We make assumptions that they feel the way we feel. I mean, even your children. Do you think they feel the way you feel all the time? No. You know, they're a whole lot younger. They haven't had the experiences we had. We can move in and out of those feelings. We can ask each other how we feel. And we can really find joy in that. How are you feeling? You know, can I support you in that? You know, and that's, again, what we're talking about doing in these kind of communities where we're forming together. How do you feel about that? Oh, well, you know, we've been running across that one week after week with audio taping our Wednesday night work classes. These, you know, we audio tape and videotape. We're not doing it yet, but most unities do that so people can see the message and we can reach out. We can reach out with how we're communicating with each other. But there are people in classes sometimes that have feelings inside, and they're like, I don't know if I want to share my feelings. I don't know if I can be open enough to share my feelings. Once we can grow past, I believe, the assumptions that whatever I say means anything else to anyone else, and that it should mean anything to anyone else, we're sharing so we can learn, not so we can shut ourselves down or shut down others, is the way I look at it. You know, personally, I look at it as, if I want to help heal the world, how can I be open enough? How can I open up my heart enough so that I'm not being selfish with my words and my thoughts? If I'm selfish with them and I can't share them, how are you supposed to feel them? How are you supposed to understand what's inside me if I can't share that, or if I'm afraid to share it? So I'm not saying you have to. I'm saying, but once you can open up to that, once you can open up to the possibility of people just listening to what you have to say and it being okay with you, because this is what this is about. So what's okay with each of you? What's okay with me? I'm okay. I am love. I am light. You are okay. You are love. You are light. So what's there to fear in that? Our programming. The judgments of others that we have had in our past that scared us to death, so we are sometimes afraid to share who we are. So when we begin to open that wide up, and there's no more fear about what I have to say, because it's me, it's genuine. I don't think you're going to attack me with that once I'm clear enough to be okay with what I'm saying. If you do attack me, what do? What did we learn? Second agreement. I don't take it personally, because it's not an attack on me. It's your own attack on what you believe. These 4 agreements are powerful. And then, as we go back and we look at how impeccable our word can be, how loving our word can really be to others, as we learn to speak these things, then that impeccability of what we're thinking and how we're saying it, we can walk through anything and stand in the light. Anything, no matter how dark or how scary it is, we can walk and stand in the light of it. We also feel like people judge the same way we judge. If I judge this way, he must certainly judge me that way. No, that was my mirror. I just looked at it again, and I'm mirroring myself in you. Just not the truth. You don't judge the same way. Now, we could have picked up some of the same judgments as a societal kind of thing where that religion's bad or that person's bad, or, oh, let's group all those people together because this person we saw on TV did that. And then we have this weird old judgment that pops up, and it's just crazy. But we're not even going to all judge that the same way. But we think we judge each other the same way. Therefore, we think if I say something to you in judgment, you're going to get it. Well, no, that's just not true. It might be, might not be, but it's not something we can assume. And what about abusing the way I abuse. Does everybody abuse me the way I abuse others? I don't think so. Abuse, we don't even want to really use that word, but we do. We have learned how to abuse others in our fight to the top. In our fight, at that point it was a struggle, right? A fight. Instead of allowing it to come through us and pull us, that Christ conscious, pull us forward into the loving beings that we are, we were taught to fight to get to the top so that we, at some point in our lives, hopefully we're moving past that. That's the whole objective for why we're creating communities, the way we're wanting to greet them. That we can be pulled in love rather than fight our way into something that we took as a material need. So we could be successful in the world, so we could be happy in the world. Just ask questions. The way to keep yourself from making assumptions is to just ask questions. Make sure the communication is clear. And if you don't understand, ask. What do? We so get stuck in that thing sometimes, and there's no need. Let's don't go there anymore. Let's don't get stuck. Let's just go to that person and say, I'm feeling a hesitation with you, and I love you. Is there anything you want to talk to me about that you can share with me that I can now work with and support you and lift you up? Put it in those kinds of really amazing words where you are inspiring, where I'm inspiring everyone that I speak with, where you're inspiring everyone to just open their hearts and let us talk to each other. And then no matter what happens, by following these rules, these agreements, we will be able to walk anywhere, to do anything in integrity and in light, and not feeling judged, and not having to make assumptions. This is where the transformation takes place in us. This is where we are all able to be transformed. When you transform your whole dream, that whole thing, and you let it open, you let it go, transformation occurs. Beyond our wildest dreams, because we let go of what we are holding that is the absolute truth. Because the truth is much bigger than that. It's everybody's truth. What you need comes to you easily because Spirit moves freely through you. So when we talk about manifestation and creating things in our lives, like whether it be cars or houses or abundance or love or a new dog or whatever it may be, when we put these agreements into place, Spirit just begins to flow through us without all of those attachments tied to it. Can you relate? This is the mastery of intent. What we're talking about here, where we are wanting to go, I believe, each of us, because we are working through the one mind of consciousness. We all sit here together. We are a part of planet Earth. We are a part of the universe. We are an element of life. Each of us, a piece of that, the one mind of creation. When that is flowing, we become masters of our own intent. Our intention becomes manifest because that's what we prey on. And that's what we manifest from when we go into the silence. We become masters of Spirit. Masters. That's what we're looking for, is to become masters in our own lifetime, in our own experience. Masters of the spiritual being that we are, so that we have this joyous experience on this planet. Masters of love. Mastery of love. Who wants it? Who wants it? Who wants mastery of love? I want it. And I'm going to do everything within my power. I'm going to call in my meditations upon my ability to be the master of my own love. I'm going to ask for it. What's going to happen? Your subconscious is going to respond and make itself aware to you how to make the next step of your own mastery in your own process of love appear to you. By just simply ask for it. I call upon the mastery of who I am in love. Being a true master. Welcome. The mastery of gratitude. The mastery of gratitude will absolutely bring us everything we desire. Because the more we can have gratitude for everything that is happening in our lives, whether it looks like at that moment it's not working out right or doesn't feel right, if we can take that immediately and turn that into the mastery of gratitude, whatever it is, watch what happens in your life. Watch what amazing things happen in all of our lives through gratitude. I believe it's one of the most powerful in actually manifesting a new life. By actually having that power of gratitude so great within you that it resonates within you. You feel it. When we talk about it, you get chills in your bone because you're so grateful for the amazing things in your life and the amazing things that are being brought forth by others that are in your life. This world, the breath, and then finally the mastery of life. The mastery of our own lives, our individual lives, the mastery of our life. We are the only masters of our life, and we pull from us through that Christ consciousness that unity teaches. The good, the omnipotence of God flowing through us through that never-ending spring of life. And that's what flows through us. And it's beautiful. And the mastery of that, the mastery of these pieces of love, of gratitude, the mastery of the 4 agreements that we've been talking about. Mastering those things change our lives forever. And then we have personal freedom or liberation. So what happens when we do all this and we've mastered at least pieces of it for a moment or a day or a week, or we're in the flow and it's happening for a month, and then it happens for 2 months, and then it happens for a year. And we find liberation in this. What is liberation? Liberation is the freedom from all the things that hold us back. Liberation, you may still have a mortgage, but liberation from your mortgage. Liberation from the old thoughts and old patterns. Absolute freedom of all those things that were part of the dream we each created. We created our dream. We helped others create their dreams. So now we're creating a new dream. We're creating a new way of communicating, a new way of believing, so that our matrix is changing. It's becoming what we truly desire it to be and not what the world wanted us to think it was. Powerful stuff. And we want to make it fun. So that's why we do things like we did yesterday. We dance and we sing and we come in and we eat and we sleep really well because we're really tired. But we have a great, great, great time doing it all. I'd like to just ask you now just to open your hearts to the masters that you are. Call in that mastery that you hold within you. Call it in. Use it this week. Those agreements are in this little program. So if you want to take those, stick them in your car, stick them on your refrigerator, whatever. Just so stick them on your bathroom window because you know that you go there every morning. What a great way to start your day, just to read those things as you're brushing your teeth. Make them more real for you every single day. At this time, I'd like to say thank you. Enjoy your week. Have a beautiful day. Get some rest this week and let your life just be full.